Why did God create us? There are many books, videos and websites discussing the existence of God. When the earth was created, when the earth is going to end, when God or Jesus or Allah is going to come down to earth and judge it. But I want to address the more fundamental question of why God created us in the first place. If you look it up on Google and sort through the websites, you'll find, of course, there is no one answer. Christian sites say things like, God was lonely, that God is love and must have something to shower that love on. It's to give God a family. And Revelations 4:11 says, we were created for His pleasure. All these explanations seem to be rather trivial reasons for bringing the whole of mankind into existence. According to the Torah, the world was created for the sake of humanity. God created us to take care of, to guard, to watch, and be God's agents and partners of the earth. I find this a bit of a circular logic, in that the world was created for us to live on, and we were created to live on the world. The Muslim sites are a bit less varied. In general, it would seem that Allah created us to worship Allah. And I must say, this doesn't seem to say much for Allah's character. Now, if any of these reasons are true, it would seem that God, Allah, or whoever, created the world for us to live on. With advances in the world of astronomy, we have discovered that there are about 3,000 galaxies visible to the Hubble telescope, and an estimated 125 billion galaxies in the universe. If you don't know what a galaxy is, it's a volume of space roughly 10,000 light years across, occupied by several billion stars. So think of that, billions of stars in billions of galaxies. Now think of the size of the Earth, a planet about 4,000 miles in diameter, and from the deepest ocean to the highest mountain is about 5 miles. So, if God put us on the Earth for any of the previously mentioned reasons, why create a vast volume of space such as the universe? Then again you might say, well, God may have created other worlds with other life on them. We may not be His only creations. Putting aside the fact that no other world or alien civilization is mentioned in any holy book, it seems unnecessary to put these worlds light years apart, when actually just revolving them all around the same sun would be much neater, and if there are other worlds, then this just adds weight to my figures. So here is the main premise of my argument. The universe is just too big and complicated for God's hypothetical purposes. Let me give you a few facts. There are about 9,000 species of birds, 15,000 species of animal, 20,000 species of fish, and unbelievably 350,000 species of beetle on this planet. Why did God make so many? How does having all those creatures on the earth, most of which we would never see in our lifetime, facilitate any of the reasons for creating us? Number 2. There are bacteria which live near the volcanic vents on the sea floor, reachable only by highly sophisticated submarines. Why are they there? In what way does their existence suit God's purpose? Number 3. The Bible says God made us in His own image. Take a look at yourself. You are designed to live on a planet of a certain size, with a certain atmospheric makeup, in a certain temperature range. And if you are put outside that set of conditions, you die. In fact, the world is rather hostile to us, as to live on it, most of us require clothing and shelter. Number 4. The human body is vastly overcomplicated. Why do we need heart, lungs, liver, stomachs? If our purpose is to love God, or worship God, or provide Him with companionship, or whatever, why do our bodies have to be so complicated and prone to disease, damage, and birth defects? If God is so powerful, why do we have organs at all? Why didn't He just power us by some internal energy? 5. Why the continuing population growth? Anti-abortionists say that a baby is provided with a soul at the moment of conception. Why does God need a growing number of souls, over 6 billion at the last count, to love Him or worship Him or look after the earth? Does God have a never-ending supply of souls, or will they run out one day? To conclude, Deists say that the universe could not have come into existence without a creator. I'm saying that it's just too complicated to be made by God. He doesn't need anything so big for his apparently rather simple purposes. If his reasons for bringing us into existence are any of the ones mentioned in the holy books, why make such a vast, over-complex universe when a nice, flat little world with a small sun going round it would have done? Now I'm sure someone will say, but who are we to know God's purpose? To which I say, hey, it's your books that say what God's purpose is, and it's your priests, imams and rabbis that claim to know his desires. And if they're wrong about that, maybe they're wrong about a whole lot of other things. God was invented when only a few thousand people were alive in a little corner of the earth they thought was the center of creation. And now these numbers are given, and the discoveries about the vast universe we live in show how small-minded these beliefs are. Give them up, people, and lead a life standing on your own 2 feet, not under the feet of a made-up God.